Take two. Peace and Black Power family. Jade Arrindell, aka Lioness Crowned. I'm your revolutionary, unapologetically Black African host right here at FlyNubianQueen.com, the network for melanated women and some men like you. I am here. This is take two with Sister Dr. TWEILA-ROCHELLE. CAUTHEN. Oh, I'm so sorry. All right, I'm gonna get it. So we were inside. We were just broadcasting, and we were asked to step out. But people have been live streaming all day in there, so I don't.
Except for New Black Media.
Except for New Black Media. That is very, very true. Is it a conspiracy? Oh my gosh. So listen. We know that 45 is having a State of the Union tonight. I am standing on federal ground right now. So we just left out of the Congressional Black Caucus's National Leadership Summit. And today they had an emergency convening. And so we want to just talk about what didn't happen.
What didn't happen.
So what didn't happen? Can you let the audience know, first off, who you are, and then let us know from your perspective what didn't happen. And I'm going to also welcome everyone who are just tuning in. Welcome to FlyNubianQueen.com. Please take a moment right now to hit the share button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you're watching on YouTube, hit that notification bell for us. Okay, Doc, what's going on?
Okay, what didn't happen was the question that was being asked. We were taught that it was important for us to participate in this census, and of course that means dollars, and that does mean far as political power, but we know that there's gerrymandering issues that are always prevalent in our communities, and they kept talking about Black and brown communities, but what I wanted to hear more was just about Black communities, no disrespect to any group of people. That's what I wanted to hear, because when I go to the Hispanic caucus events, because I am of that same ancestry, I don't hear anything talk about Black people and Black issues.
Oh, interesting. So they say brown, they just say Latinx?
Latinx.
Okay.
Look at their mission statement. I charge you to look at the mission statement of the Hispanic caucus and compare that with the mission statement of the Congressional Black Caucus. And then contact the Lioness right here, Lioness Princess right here. She's going to dialogue with you about the problem with that. So that's one thing. Number two, presidential candidate to vote for. So you're telling people to go out here and vote, register to vote, cut turf. There's not one presidential candidate that is up here that's representing Black folks as it pertains to reparations. No one wants to talk about that. They skirt around that. Ask the question to the floor, and I listen to everyone answer everything but that question. You don't want to talk about Joe Biden, who is anti-reparations, or Bernie Sanders, or any other ones who say, oh yeah, I think that Black people should get something, but it's going to be problematic. It wasn't problematic when Obama gave Jewish Holocaust survivors money, and we didn't have anything to do with that. Those who were living below the poverty line. I have relatives that live below the poverty line. Did yours get reparations? Okay. I mean, where was I? Where were you? And then the other thing was about, okay, so you don't have a candidate, but you still want people to register to vote. That was problematic for me. That was very problematic. I know local elections you need to participate in, and state elections you definitely need to. But as far as the president, that still was not answered and addressed.
Yeah, so interestingly, we did talk to my brother, whom I went to high school with. Shout out to the brother Aaron Jenkins, who's worked on the Hill quite extensively, has done a lot in community organizing as well as like educational nonprofit stuff. So he did cite the Hatch Act, and and this is something that he went into depth about. And so when we're in these sorts of spaces on federal grounds, you can't have events or start politicking or campaigning for specific candidates and or endorsing candidates, etc., etc. So
I didn't want them to endorse a candidate, but I wanted them to address the issue of when I said that you need someone, and you're trying to tell people to vote, but you're not telling us how to groom leaders that are for our causes and for us. I don't want. I kept hearing the word that the conscience of the Congress. I don't need you to be the conscience of the Congress Congressional Black Caucus. I need you to be the conscience of Black people. That's what I need. That's what you're elected to do. I realize that your constituents made of many people, but this caucus is supposed to be very fine-tuned. In their mission, it says something about global reach. It doesn't say anything about local. I don't know anyone across the globe that voted for any of these people here except for those in the U.S. territories. Sorry. Global is right over there where they took the tent cities down all everywhere else. People getting locked up every day.
Oh yeah, we were down there. You know, you talking about K Street, L Street, and M Street,
Oh,
under
yes.
those overpasses where all those, you know, our homeless brothers
yes.
and sisters are living in
Oh,
tents.
yes.
Are many of them veterans?
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
that
Yes,
place.
ma'am.
Okay.
That place, true. And then they didn't talk about what's going to be done here. Nothing at all. So that was problematic for me. But the other thing that was problematic for me was Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee's response to my comment about I came and I was actually in the room when they had HR 40 hearing this past June on the 19th, famously Juneteenth. My question and my problem was that you had Cory Booker who was part of that. You had these various people that were speaking, but I said you needed educators, sociologists, psychologists.
Yeah.
You needed historians. You needed veterans. And I said that for every conversation, anything is done in this country, a veteran needs to be in that room because we represent the entire diaspora of people and problems in this country. No comment was made about that, and she didn't. She went to say, oh, we're going to have more hearings throughout the year. I don't want to have more sessions and we're going to talk and kumbaya. And I'm tired of talking. I want to see stuff done. That's the problem that I have with this whole thing.
Right.
I understood about the galvanizing and rallying the support, rallying the troops, but we're rallying up to go where? To do what?
Right.
I'm a former Marine.
Yes. Tell them your whole resume. Roll the whole thing down for us, please.
I am a former police officer. I worked plain clothes and I worked undercover and I worked in uniform. My problem was that people were getting set up and I was ostracized by my own department because there was a young woman, I'm gonna call the name out, her name was Nico Williams. She was illegally arrested and she did 2 years in prison, but all the officers wrote one statement and my statement was different. I never knew this young lady, never seen her since then. My statement matched her statement, and when we call in and the prosecutor gets your statement, my statement matched with hers, which I didn't know until afterwards, and I was the only officer that wasn't called in on that case.
Interesting.
And that girl and a young lady went to prison for disorderly for something that she did not do. I couldn't even rescue her. Do you understand how that feels when you can't rescue the very people that you paid to protect? That stuck with me, and still to this day, and this happened in the 90s, it still sticks with me. I'm a former teacher, former educator. I'm a former Marine, United States Marine Corps. And I've talked about how we have veterans who are not being served in the military hospitals. You think that the VA hospital services every person who served in the military? Not so. You have to receive certain kind of compensations in order to be seen at the VA hospital.
Wow.
So you have a lot of veterans out here committing suicide, at least 5 to 7 a day.
So multiple people talked about Black suicide today within the veteran population and also within the youth population.
That's right.
And then also there was one brother who was on the panel, and shout out to him. He connected depression, suicide back to the root of it, the root cause of us being in bondage and Babylon in this country, white supremacy.
We're born with PTSD. Dr. Joy DeGruy,
Post-traumatic slavery syndrome.
We're born. If you were born in this country, you were born because the womb that carried you had the stresses of the world. And she came out of a womb that was stressed with the stress of this world. That's not being addressed, and that was not up on these reparation conversations. That's one of the conversations that's not there. There's no reason why 5, 6, 7-year-old children are committing suicide. Children being ostracized because of the way they wear their hair.
9-year-old baby girl, what was it, last month or so? Or was it September?
Last week.
Yeah, little baby girl, 9-year-old, was bullied by a white supremacist 4th grader, and he gave her instructions on exactly what to do to take her own life, and unfortunately our baby girl did it. Okay, so there were so many topics and issues that came up. We do want to move towards action and being in action. I know you sat intently and took copious notes during the panels. Was there anything that you particularly liked or would like to follow up on that you learned about, today that you want the audience here at Fly Nubian Queen to know about?
I think that you all need to get up out your seats and start coalescing together. Don't sit down and watch this person and click on YouTube and click on this YouTube and then do all these Twitter wars and these back and forths. Sit down, get together. People you don't like. Let me tell you what Malcolm X did. Malcolm X got all different people from all different types of faith and walks of life to get together in Detroit and in New York. And what he said was, we need to focus on one thing. Because whether you're a Baptist, a Methodist, or a Muslim, or no religion at all, the one thing as Black people that we have is white supremacy. That is our primary focus. That Brother Bass he hit it nailed on. He was spot on. He was also one who was talking about the suicide. He tied everything succinctly. White supremacy, which is something that people keep skirting around, that's the issue. And we need to galvanize, put all our differences to the side. I don't care if you're ADOS, DOS, DAS, DOA, MOA, elemental POA, whatever.
Not elemental POA.
I'm tired. We get this, I don't want to deal with them because they're Black Panthers. I don't want to deal with them because they're in Cobra. I don't want to deal with them because they DOAS or they're foundational Black or ADOS or Pan-Africanist. Look, you see this, the melanin?
That's
the color of the skin we in? We got the same issue, same enemy, same problem. When you're in the military, you got people from all walks of life. And the one thing we have to do is we have to stand together. Even though I'm standing next to a person who member of the KKK, card carrying member of the KKK.
Oh, wow.
That's right. Living in our barracks. But when it came time to stand up against us and them, it was all us. Just like that.
Getting on code.
Get on code and really understand what that means.
Yeah.
So, I thank you.
Thank you.
I watch you. I am enamored with your presence. I'm telling you, every time I see her, my heart flutters with joy because I'm glad to see young people out here fighting the fight. I'm old.
No, you're not. Don't say that.
Honey, I'm a great-grandmom, and
oh, that's a blessing.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm a baby boomer, and my generation and my group, I have issue with a lot of them because they won't do what needs to be done to help the generation behind us. I will say this: the generation behind us needs to get the information, instruction from us. That's the disconnect right there.
And humility from my generation.
And then
I'm gonna say it.
My generation got to step out of the way because the generation ahead of us, they took the spots and they stayed in too long. So we'll never have the titles, and that's fine. But we're supposed to be titled with you for the fight.
That's one thing I did enjoy about this event today, though. I mean, it was very intergenerational. We saw our people from all age groups represented, and I thought that was a beautiful thing. And I also I'm really, really grateful again to see our Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. in the flesh. And he spoke and gave a couple words. I tried to capture a little bit of his remarks before it went to the public conversation. So I always feel empowered and blessed and very, very, I don't know, happy and joyful when I'm just in a room full of our people.
That's right. And Reverend Barbara, he was spot on.
Yes, Reverend Barbara. And I did get to catch his full keynote address.
Yes.
And you can go to flynubianqueentv.com and look up that full keynote. That keynote was for an hour. He got some stamina. That's that old school preaching. Okay. That's that old school preaching. So I'm going to wrap this up really, really quickly. I'm going to thank you all for tuning into Fly Nubian Queen. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the share button. Make sure you text the word Queens to 31996. That's Queens to 31996. And also make sure you visit our shop at shopfnq.com. That's shopfnq.com. Just really a quick aside, I got to catch Congresswoman Dr. Julianne Malveaux in the hallway. And, I told her, I was like, I see you on Dr. Boyce Watkins TV quite often as a just being interviewed. And she's like, oh yeah. And I was like, I really appreciated, the fact that they were able to pull this event together today. And this is my first time coming, so I do look forward to coming to many, many more. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the continuity of the work and seeing some tangibles and some deliverables from that. So I'm going to give you the last word before I close this out.
I'm also the COO of an organization called TLIMS. That's T-LIMS. We have a channel Connect to the Bridge on YouTube. If you type that on in, we recently did a short of the Red Summer of 1919. Please go check it out. We are also getting ready to publish a book. Well, it's printing now. It's called Making It Plain. It's a bunch of prose and slam poetry. I call it Dr. Seuss for adults. Please go. 100% of the proceeds, 100%, is going to Simmons College of Kentucky, which is an HBCU.
Simmons College.
Which was started by former slaves.
Yes, it was.
Okay, that's my pastor, Reverend Dr. Kevin W. Causey. Shout out to St. Stephen Church. He's the president of that college, the university. Also, the last thing I want to say is that as the post adjutant of United States Post, Jacob Jones, number 2, Washington, D.C., the only all-women's American Legion post in the world. Our focus is on returning citizens, mental health, and homelessness. If you are a woman veteran that's out there, please contact me. If you're in this area, please contact me. If you are a person who's interested in social justice, please contact me. That's yes.t as in Tom, W as in whiskey, E as in echo, I as in India, L as in Lima, and A as in alpha at gmail.com. And the final thing is that we're having a play. We'll be having a play call soon. The name of the play is called What About the Why? And it addresses social, racial injustice here in this country, focusing on the struggle of Colin Kaepernick and other activists that are in the athletic world.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you, and I love you. Look forward to us continuing to collaborate
That's
in
right.
the future.
Support her. Support this platform. It's very necessary.
Thank you. Support FlyNubianQueen.com, the network for melanated women like you.
Yes.
All right. Well, this broadcast is ending, but so is global racism and white supremacy. And we must trample this beast through fortitude, preparedness, and collectivism. And I want y'all to remember, always remember, that they stole us, they sold us, so they owe us. Until next time, family, peace and Black power.
Oh.